Do you believe that Britney was like to Diddy and
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Cassie just name-dropped Britney Spears in the Diddy trial as she was on the stand.
And Diddy inviting heavyweights like Britney to flex his clout.
What could possibly connect music mogul Diddy to pop icon Britney Spears? A surprising link surfaced in court, sending shockwaves through the trial. The tension in the courtroom reached a boiling point as evidence revealed their connection through the secretive freaks-offs parties. What was Diddy trying to keep hidden, and why did he react so explosively?
Do you believe that Britney was like to Diddy and
Absolutely. Absolutely. All of those girls, all of those Mickey Mouse girls, including Christina Aguilera, all of these children have been big. Part of the reason why they can't tell you is because they were drugged when most of what was happening to them was happening. And what they have left are the memories and the nightmares.
Do you believe that Bieber has been trying to expose Diddy for years? Because if you look at his Yummy video, there's a lot of indicators that he was trying to expose what these elites are really doing to children. He used pizza images a lot.
Him, Rihanna, all of them. Listen to their music after they get their big hit record in their deal. That Lou Taylor is friends with Diddy. They're all listed on the charter of that same church.
Over here. Y'all can bring the 500 cameras over here. Y'all can bring it to George Clooney or Tom Cruise or Will Smith.
So you're saying give Britney a break?
Give Britney or any woman or children, you're supposed to have rules to the game. There's supposed to be, there gotta be rules to the game. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And don't put nobody in danger driving, you know? I think that right now, everybody's treating everybody in the world like they can't make a mistake or they have to be this perfect thing. Whether it's Barack Obama, Reverend Wright, whether it's Miley Cyrus or, you know, Britney Spears. Everybody has to be perfect. And life ain't like that.
Cassie just name-dropped Britney Spears in the Diddy trial as she was on the stand testifying. She said, Sean was there and he brought Dallas Austin, Britney Spears. I think those were the two that stand out to me. Now, what she is talking about is her 21st birthday party that took place on September 8th, 2007. The picture is right above. You see Britney with Diddy, Paris Hilton, and then there's Dallas Austin next to her.
This is gonna blow your mind. This is the evolution of Britney Spears from 2000 to 2024. And look what happened in 2003. Who's this guy? Anyone recognize him? And also pay attention to what happens in 2007.
Right now, P. Diddy is looking at spending the rest of his life in prison for human trafficking and also assault towards Cassie Ventura, who was his ex-girlfriend. Cassie Ventura has explained that one way P. Diddy would always try to manipulate her was trying getting other celebrities to come to parties, with one example being Britney Spears, who came to Cassie's 21st birthday party. That birthday party was actually the night before the 2007 VMAs, where Britney Spears had one of the worst performances of her career, and many called it the beginning of the end. And after that happened, Britney Spears actually came out apologizing for the performance, saying she was extremely tired, having no sleep the night before, and did admit to being hungover. Now it's been insinuated that story actually goes much deeper, where P. Diddy might have tried to set Britney Spears up that night, getting her drunk on purpose and keeping her up to try and get her to have a bad performance. From the point of view that P. Diddy had this idea that if Britney Spears' career tanked and she was losing popularity, she would be more reluctant to sign with his record label instead. From Cassie Ventura's point of view, she said that Britney Spears was just a pawn to P. Diddy to try and get her at that birthday party for Cassie, so she'd be so impressed she would date P. Diddy. It actually worked because that was the first night ever Cassie Ventura did kiss P. Diddy. For Britney Spears, it's not likely she was ever seriously abused by P. Diddy, but it definitely seems like she was a pawn in his plans, and with that I'm Charles Sproul. Subscribe to learn something.
What exactly is the Freaks-Offs party, and why has it sparked so much controversy? For years, this elusive event has existed more as an urban legend whispered among Hollywood insiders than a confirmed reality. Talked about at exclusive after-parties but never publicly acknowledged, the Freaks-Offs party was rumored to be a private gathering of elite celebrities, cloaked in secrecy, and built around a strictly curated guest list. Getting in was said to require an invitation so rare that even some of Hollywood's most powerful figures treated it like a forbidden secret. The location supposedly changed frequently, only adding to the mystique. And what allegedly took place behind closed doors? Let's just say it wasn't the sort of thing you'd expect at a typical celebrity event. Until recently, details remained speculative, floating through gossip blogs and anonymous tips, never quite making it into the spotlight. But now, this trial has changed everything. Evidence brought forward in court has revealed how central these parties may have been to behind-the-scenes power dynamics, celebrity alliances, and long-standing rumors. Reports indicate that these weren't just lavish parties. They may have been the setting for behavior that, if made public, could destroy reputations and careers. What exactly happened inside remains unclear, but the rumors alone were enough. to keep both the press and the public hooked for years. And at the center of it all, Sean Diddy Combs. For a long time, Diddy was the name most often linked to these mysterious gatherings. With his influence, charisma, and control over the entertainment world, many believed he had the connections to orchestrate something of this scale and the power to keep it hidden. His involvement had always been rumored but never proven. Until now. Court documents and testimony are painting Diddy as a key figure behind the creation and operation of the Freaks-Offs event. And just when it seemed the revelations couldn't go any further, another shocking name was introduced: Britney Spears. Yes, Britney, the former pop princess turned tabloid headline, was suddenly linked to these gatherings in ways no one could have predicted. Her name alone caused a stir in the courtroom, instantly raising the stakes. It wasn't just the public that was stunned. Legal experts say this trial is exposing how fragile celebrity images can be and how quickly they can unravel under pressure. What was once dismissed as sensational gossip is now at the center of explosive court proceedings. How exactly Britney fits into all of this is still unclear. Was she really a participant? Or is there another side to the story that hasn't been told? That's the mystery keeping everyone locked in. Because what was finally revealed in court shook the room, and the allegations went far beyond anything previously whispered behind closed doors. The biggest question now, was Britney a guest? Or something more?
Now, instead of showing a photo at the end of 2024, I'm going to show you a video of how she looks now, as of a month ago, so stay tuned. But here, the famous meltdown 2027, I also found her reportedly going to Diddy parties in 2007, and then the whole situation. Coincidence? I don't know, you be the judge. Either way, she's looking pretty good afterwards, as if, she survived Diddy. I have nothing bad to say about Britney Spears. I hope everything's going well for her. I hope she continues to be successful. But at some point soon, it does look like she starts to become a slightly different person. But I'll let you guys be the judge. What do you think? Is it the same person from here to here and moving forward? Do we have a different Britney? Has she just aged? Is it none of my business? Is it none of all of our business? Either way, stick around, because in 2024, she has made an appearance about a month ago, and you're about to see what that is. I'm gonna get out the way. Here you are.
I forget I'm famous sometimes.
2024.
But I thought it was kind of cool. The Sabrina girl, Carpenter, she said something recently. I was like, damn, this looks cool. She made me cool. Okay, maybe not.
According to a bombshell report by Shutterscoop, Diddy's been bragging for years about hooking up with Britney that very night. A longtime associate claims Diddy told this story dozens of times, laughing about how Britney was crazy in bed and out of control. He thought it made him look like a player, another notch on his belt. Photos from that night show Britney and Diddy cozying up together. Her eyes are hidden behind sunglasses indoors at night. Just to keep that in mind. Now, she was looking like she could barely hold herself together. In 2007, Britney was 25, a global superstar, but her life was unraveling. She lost custody of her 2 young sons, was battling addiction, and was trapped in a toxic conservatorship that controlled her every move. The media was ruthless, painting her as a fallen idol. Meanwhile, Diddy was at the peak of his power. Bad Boy Records mogul, fashion icon, party king.
How does one of the world's biggest pop stars end up tied to such a shadowy world? That question gripped the courtroom as prosecutors revealed new evidence connecting Britney Spears to the infamous Freaks-Offs party. From the moment the judge allowed her name to be introduced, the entire energy in the room shifted. In a trial already packed with shocking allegations, this revelation raised the stakes even higher. Gasps echoed through the gallery, and even veteran reporters looked visibly stunned. All eyes turned to Diddy, who sat motionless, his expression unreadable as the prosecution began building their case. The bombshell came in the form of a series of messages recovered from an encrypted platform believed to be used to coordinate these elite gatherings. Displayed on courtroom screens were emails and text threads that, when pieced together, appeared to show Britney being invited to, and attending, at least 2 of these secretive events. One particularly damning message referred to a white-hot headliner making a surprise appearance. Another outright named Britney as the guest of honor, a statement that caused the room to erupt in whispers. The emails dated back several years, aligning with a period when Britney was under intense legal and public scrutiny during her conservatorship. But the most chilling moment came when a witness took the stand to verify the messages. This individual, a former assistant to one of the event organizers, confirmed seeing Britney's name in the logs and described witnessing her arrival at one such gathering. According to the witness, Britney was driven in a private vehicle, ushered inside swiftly, and kept largely separated from the other guests throughout the night. And yet, even that limited presence was enough to shake the courtroom. The prosecution then introduced a photo into evidence, allegedly taken at one of the parties. In the grainy image, a blonde woman who bore a striking resemblance to Britney appeared in the background of a dimly lit room. While the photo wasn't crystal clear, the witness testimony and commentary left little room for ambiguity in the prosecution's claim. The timeline made things even murkier. Britney's alleged appearances at these gatherings coincided directly with the height of her conservatorship, raising haunting questions. Was she there by choice, or was she coerced into participating? As the courtroom absorbed each new revelation, the weight of Britney's name became undeniable. For years, her image was tightly controlled, either as a global pop sensation or as a symbol of someone trapped by a broken system. Now, she was being linked to a world that could alter public perception once again. Was she complicit, or was this yet another chapter in a long story of exploitation? Either way, her alleged connection to the Freaks-Off's party has become one of the most shocking developments of the entire trial. And for Diddy, the fallout was only just beginning. His reaction as the evidence played out in real time? Absolutely frozen.
More pictures from that night. There's Britney. Obviously, that's Cassie and Diddy. More pictures from that night. Britney standing next to Diddy, 50 Cent, Paris. Another one from that night. Britney with Diddy, Cassie. Why is this important? Well, September 8th, 2007 was the night before the MTV Video Music Awards, the 2007 MTV Video Music Awards, where Britney Spears performed her now infamous performance of Gimme More. Now, also why it's important, because Lou Taylor and Robin Greenhill from TriStar Sports and Entertainment allegedly were the ones that orchestrated Britney's conservatorship to begin with, and they have been named in this Diddy lawsuit multiple times. It's a little bit jarring because the Britney fandom has always had questions about that night. These pictures are not new. We've seen these pictures for a long time, but we've always had questions on what went on that night because Britney just didn't seem okay the next day.
It's September 7, 2007, and Las Vegas is buzzing. The Strip's alive with neon lights, thumping music, and A-list celebs are bouncing from club to club. Britney Spears, the pop princess herself, is at Pure Nightclub for Cassie Venture's 21st birthday bash, hosted by none other than Sean Diddy Combs. Paris Hilton's there, music producer Dallas Austin is in the mix, and the VIP section's a chaotic swirl of champagne, flashing cameras, and a lot of narcissistic egos. Anyway, Britney's already under a microscope, fresh off her divorce from Kevin Federline. That head-shaping moment, you guys remember that back then? And the relentless paparazzi stalking her every move. She's trying to claw her way back with a new single, Gimme More. Now, that was set to debut at the MTV VMAs in 2 ways. But that night, tonight, she's partying and the world was not watching.
The moment Britney Spears' name was spoken in court, every eye in the room turned to Diddy. He sat at the defense table, body still, but jaw tightly clenched. Up until that point, he had maintained a remarkably calm and composed presence. Arms crossed, occasionally leaning in to whisper with his legal team, Diddy had projected an air of quiet confidence, even as the atmosphere in the courtroom grew more tense by the hour. But everything changed the second prosecutors began laying out Britney's alleged involvement in the Freaks-Offs party. Diddy leaned forward, his hands locked tightly on the table, his eyes locked onto the screen where a stream of messages and evidence appeared. It was subtle, but the flicker of discomfort on his face was unmistakable. The room fell into a heavy silence, broken only by the quiet rustling of papers and the occasional gasp from reporters and gallery spectators. Prosecutors had just finished, displaying a series of text messages linking Britney to party invitations when they shifted to the witness statement, a key moment that identified her as a central guest at one particular gathering. And that's when Diddy's composure began to fray. He didn't shout. He didn't move from his seat, but his eyes snapped toward his attorneys with an urgency that couldn't be ignored. At one point, he appeared to mouth something, though it wasn't clear what he said. A sharp breath escaped. Him. Small, but telling. The kind of breath that carries tension, restraint, and pressure all in one. Then came the photo, a grainy image, allegedly showing Britney at one of the gatherings. As it flashed onto the screen, Diddy reacted. He leaned back abruptly in his chair, his arms uncrossed, then folded again across his chest. His head tilted toward the gallery. He didn't say a word, but his body language spoke volumes. His foot began tapping. His jaw clenched harder. And just for a second, he shook his head, either in disbelief or frustration. It was a rare, unscripted moment in a courtroom performance that had otherwise been carefully controlled. Outside the room, reactions came fast. Legal experts, journalists, and online commentators dissected every frame of Diddy's reaction. Some said it looked like the first visible crack in his defense, a man caught off guard by undeniable proof. Others believed it was the response of someone blindsided by false allegations that had gone too far. But no matter the interpretation, the reaction made headlines within hours. His legal team, clearly aware of the storm brewing, moved fast. They claimed Diddy's reaction was not guilt, but frustration over what they described as unreliable, misleading evidence being allowed into court. During a break, one member of the defense team even made an off-the-record remark to reporters, calling the Britney angle a desperate reach, meant to pull high-profile names into an unrelated mess. But instead of calming the buzz, the statement only stoked more questions. What stood out most, and remained with everyone who saw it, was Diddy's silence after the break. He returned to his seat rigid, emotionless, avoiding eye contact with the gallery and barely acknowledging the court proceedings. Was it guilt, shock, annoyance, or something deeper? One thing was clear. Something had changed. Whether it was the look of a man caught by surprise or the weight of truths he wasn't ready to confront, only time will tell. And as for Britney, the question still looms. What role did she really play in the shadowy world now being dragged into the light?
Now, after they left Pure, they moved to 50 Cent's after party at the Hard Rock Hotel, and the night, it stretched into the early hours of the morning. Insiders say that Britney was glass-eyed, disoriented, clinging to Diddy in a way that raised everyone's eyebrows. Now, fast forward to September 9th, 2007. Britney takes the stage at the VMAs to perform Gimme More. It's supposed to be her big comeback, the moment she proves she's still got it. Instead, it's a train wreck. She stumbles through the choreography, lip syncs off beat, and looks like she's somewhere else entirely. Critics rip her apart, calling it the lowest point of her career. Fans, well, they're left heartbroken. Britney later admits in her 2023 memoir, The Woman in Me, that she hadn't slept that night before, had a panic attack backstage, and felt forced to perform despite begging to back out. She wrote, "I knew it was going to be bad. I was a mess. But what she didn't say and what's now coming to light, Cassie Ventura, his then girlfriend, was a rising R&B star signed to his label. That Vegas night was her 21st birthday, and Diddy pulled out all the stops, inviting heavyweights like Britney to flex his clout. But here's the problem. Diddy's not looking so untouchable anymore. In September of 2024, as we know, he was arrested on federal charges of sex trafficking, racketeering, transportation for prostitution. He's been in a Brooklyn detention center ever since, pleading not guilty, of course. But the evidence is piling up, okay? We've been covering the case. Cassie's 2023 lawsuit against him, settled out of court for $20 million, accused him of rape, physical abuse, and forcing her into drug-fueled freak-offs, which we know was with all these male escorts from around the country, and she's getting it on while he watches. Her testimony in Diddy's ongoing trial, which, like I said, we've been covering, is where Britney's name first resurfaced.
What would lead Britney Spears to these infamous gatherings? And how does her presence fit into the shadowy world surrounding the Freaks-Offs party? That was the question hanging in the air after prosecutors laid out their claims. The allegations surrounding Britney's involvement painted a picture that blurred the line between scandal and speculation. According to the evidence, Britney wasn't just another name on the guest list. She may have been deliberately ushered into these events under circumstances that raised more questions than answers. Witness testimonies laid out a timeline stretching back to Britney's most turbulent years, around the height of her conservatorship battle, a time when nearly every aspect of her life was being controlled and monitored. One witness recalled seeing Britney arrive at a Freaks-Offs party in the early 2010s. She was driven in a black SUV and quickly escorted inside. Her demeanor, the witness claimed, seemed withdrawn and out of place among the larger-than-life personalities and chaotic energy of the party. That single appearance sparked a troubling question. Was she a willing participant? Or was she being maneuvered by those who had power over her at the time? Adding to the mystery was a series of text messages and email chains submitted as evidence. Some of these referred to Britney as the headlining surprise for a guest list full of entertainment elites. Prosecutors argued these communications pointed to Britney being invited as a central attraction, a deliberate feature of the event. But what remained unclear was how much of her involvement was voluntary and how much was coerced. One email from 2012 stood out. It mentioned that Britney was tentative about attending, but that certain powerful individuals made arrangements to ensure her presence. This suggestion of pressure or manipulation only deepened concerns and placed a sharper spotlight on her conservatorship years. These allegations stood in stark contrast to Britney's public image at the time, that of a pop superstar under legal shackles, fighting for freedom. Now, she was being linked to secretive gatherings with questionable motives. Her defenders were quick to argue, if the claims were true, then perhaps this was just another chapter in the long history of her exploitation. The most explosive moment came when prosecutors presented a second photograph, one far clearer than the first. In it, a woman who strongly resembled Britney appeared in a secluded corner, seemingly avoiding the crowd. Though the image wasn't definitive, it sent shockwaves through the courtroom and across social media. Fans erupted in debate, some expressing outrage, others asking if Britney had unknowingly been dragged into something far beyond her control. Still, no concrete proof has confirmed the full extent of her involvement. The Freaks-Offs party remains shrouded in mystery, and Britney's role, whether by choice or coercion, is at the heart of that uncertainty. As the trial unfolds, the defense is expected to confront these claims directly. Now we turn it over to you. What do you think about this stunning development? Was Britney Spears truly part of this secretive world, or is she yet again the victim of forces far beyond her control?